Caitlin Clark has been considered the marketing savior for the sport. So many people were also painting her out to be the problem. She could never do enough. She could never speak out enough. WNBA players are upset over Caitlin Clark's lucrative offer from a European team, feeling entitled to bigger contracts themselves. Many believe they deserve more, citing their longer tenure in the league compared to the rookie sensation. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. Caitlin Clark's move abroad could spell disaster for the WNBA. As the highest paid player globally, she'll finally get the respect she deserves in a league that values her talent, free from players wishing for her downfall. Here's the reality. It wasn't what it is. The quality of basketball may have been up to snot, and you had somebody as popular as Sheryl Swoopes, who had her own signature shoe, had to deal with Nike, and all of this other stuff. But the bottom line is, very few people gave a damn. Why would Caitlin Clark stay in a league where even her own teammates turn against her? Following the news, Nalissa Smith was seen laughing with DJ Carrington about the viral eye poke incident, highlighting the lack of support Clark faces. Caitlin Clark's own teammate, Nalissa Smith, was caught laughing while DJ Carrington mimicked Caitlin saying, "Did you do it on purpose?" Shockingly, Smith didn't stand up for Clark, leaving her isolated even within her own team during this viral mockery. People are sitting there like, well, hold on, man. Caitlin's team hasn't supported her, instead posting Nalissa Smith's season highlights, showing no signs of backing Clark. Caitlin now has an even bigger reason to leave. Opposition players clearly don't want her in the WNBA, and even her own teammates are mocking her. She should accept the EuroLeague offer, leaving the WNBA desperate and begging for her return once they realize what they've lost. I wonder if Caitlin, in every post-game press conference, came out and talked about the kind of hateful comments that she was getting. If she came out and told everybody the reason why she has personal security that goes with her every single place. Caitlin Clark's contract with a European team isn't just another move. It's a glaring sign of the disparities and opportunities between certain WNBA players and those commanding attention overseas. If you are not on the channel, then subscribe to the channel and also like the video. Why does this move stir such strong emotions within the league? Caitlin, a newcomer to professional basketball, has already attracted international offers that even established stars like A'ja Wilson haven't received. Despite years of dominance, Wilson and other top WNBA players haven't seen the same lucrative deals. Clark's ability to draw this attention highlights a gap, frustrating longtime players who feel overlooked by both the league and international teams. And it wasn't to the degree of Caitlin Clark being on that basketball court and people watching her. But nevertheless, rising tide lifts all boats. For A'ja Wilson, the frustration surrounding Caitlin's move isn't just about the fact that Caitlin got a contract to play in Europe. It's about the underlying message that this move sends to the rest of the WNBA. A'ja has long believed that being the MVP of the league should mean something more than just a title. In her mind, MVP status should automatically come with the best opportunities, both in terms of contracts and recognition. Yet, what she's seeing now is that Caitlin Clark, who hasn't played nearly as long or accomplished as much in the professional realm, is getting offers that someone of A'ja's caliber should be receiving. There were a lot of people that laid the groundwork, that deserve shine as well. A'ja's frustration goes deeper because it brings to light the harsh reality that skill and accomplishment don't always equal financial reward in the WNBA. While Caitlin was still playing at the college level, her games were packed with fans who couldn't wait to watch her play. Meanwhile, A'ja, despite being the MVP, wasn't drawing the same crowds at the WNBA level. DJ Carrington's animosity towards Caitlin Clark is not a secret. The two players have a history, and Carrington's feelings of resentment came to a head during the infamous eye poke incident, which left Caitlin with a black eye. Instead of showing remorse for her actions, Carrington chose to mock Caitlin, further escalating the tension between them. This public display of disrespect wasn't just a one-time incident. It's indicative of a deeper resentment that Carrington has harbored towards Caitlin for some time. Carrington's resentment likely stems from the fact that Caitlin has become the face of women's basketball in a way that Carrington hasn't been able to. While Carrington is a talented player in her own right, she hasn't been able to achieve the same level of fame or success as Caitlin. This has created a sense of bitterness, which was only exacerbated by the eye poke incident. For Carrington, Caitlin's rapid rise to stardom feels like a personal slight, as if her own hard work is being overlooked in favor of someone who hasn't paid the same dues. Nalissa Thomas has aligned herself with DJ Carrington in their shared hostility towards Caitlin Clark. After the eye poke incident, Nalissa was seen laughing with her girlfriend about Caitlin's injury, showing a complete lack of empathy for her fellow player. The fact that Nalissa and Carrington find amusement in Caitlyn's injury speaks to a deeper issue within the league. For Caitlyn, this level of hostility is deeply concerning. If you are not on the channel, then subscribe to the channel and also like the video. Thank you. The WNBA is supposed to be a place where players support one another and work together to elevate the league. But instead, she's facing open animosity from her peers. This creates a toxic environment, where players are not only competing against one another but actively working to tear each other down. If you are not on the channel, then subscribe to the channel and also like the video. Caitlyn's injury wasn't just an accident on the court, it became a symbol of the hostility she faces from players like Nalissa and Carrington. Racism has been impacting the WNBA well before this year. This is not a new thing. Caitlyn didn't bring racism to the WNBA, this has been happening. The frustration Caitlyn Clark faces doesn't stop at her interactions with other WNBA players. It extends to her own team, the Indiana Fever. In professional sports, a team is supposed to represent a safe and supportive environment where players are united in a common goal, winning games, and achieving success together. It's about trust, collaboration, and solidarity, especially during challenging moments. However, for Caitlyn, the reality with the Indiana Fever has been anything but supportive. Instead of rallying around Caitlyn, who was clearly the victim of a physical injury, the Indiana Fever seemed indifferent, failing to publicly defend her or even acknowledge the situation meaningfully. For all those who think it's funny, could you imagine if the roles were reversed? If Caitlyn Clark and two white girls made a video mocking it, what the reaction would be? Let's be honest. To Caitlyn, this must have felt like a betrayal. Not only were her efforts being sidelined, but her team seemed more interested in celebrating others' achievements rather than protecting one of their star players. This situation raises important questions about the team's internal dynamics. If a player like Caitlyn, who has brought so much attention and value to the WNBA, isn't getting the backing of her teammates and coaching staff, it signals a much deeper issue. A team is supposed to create a bond that supports players both on and off the court. In this case, Caitlyn's teammates and staff have chosen to remain silent, sending a clear message that her personal well-being and contributions to the team don't carry as much weight as they should. The lack of support Caitlyn experienced isn't just about a single incident. It speaks to a larger issue within the team culture. For any athlete, especially someone of Caitlyn's caliber, feeling isolated or unprotected by your own team can be emotionally draining. It can shake a player's confidence and lead to feelings of alienation, which impacts performance and overall happiness within the league. It also forces Caitlyn to question whether the WNBA, and specifically the Indiana Fever, are the right places for her to continue her career. Why would she stay in a situation where her own team doesn't appear to have her back? This incident adds another layer to Caitlyn's decision to consider playing in Europe. Not only would she likely earn more money and face less hostility from opposing players, but she might also find herself in a more supportive and respectful team environment. European leagues are known for treating their star players with care and attention, offering them the resources and backing they need to thrive. If you are not on the channel, then subscribe to the channel and also like the video. For Caitlyn, this lack of support from the Indiana Fever could be the final push she needs to make the move overseas. Many minimized Caitlyn's contributions, suggesting she overshadowed women who came before her. However, Caitlyn Clark has undeniably brought more attention to the WNBA than most players. Losing her to Europe could set a devastating precedent for the league. If one of the league's biggest stars leaves for better opportunities abroad, what's stopping other top players from doing the same? The WNBA could find itself in a situation where its best talent plays overseas, leaving the league with fewer star players to attract fans. Caitlyn's departure could be the tipping point that sends the WNBA into a downward spiral, undoing years of hard work and progress. This isn't just about Caitlyn, it's about the future of the WNBA as a whole. Players like Angel Reese, DJ Carrington, and Aisha Wilson know the WNBA can't afford to lose its biggest stars, yet Caitlyn's departure signals that the league isn't doing enough to retain them. Caitlyn Clark's decision to sign with a European team could have long-lasting consequences for the WNBA. The league has spent years trying to build its fan base, increase viewership, and establish itself as a major player in professional sports. Caitlyn was a key figure helping to drive that growth. Her presence on the court brought in fans who might not have otherwise watched WNBA games, and her ability to connect with audiences made her a vital asset to the league. When Caitlyn stopped playing during the playoffs, the impact on viewership was immediate. Fans who had tuned in to see her lost interest, and the numbers reflected that. This presents a serious problem for the WNBA. The league has worked tirelessly to increase its visibility and grow its fan base, but Caitlyn's departure puts all of that progress at risk. Without one of its biggest stars, the WNBA could see a significant drop in viewership, which would not only hurt the league's bottom line but also its long-term growth potential. The resentment Caitlin faces from her fellow WNBA players isn't limited to just a few individuals. Many players in the league harbor jealousy and bitterness towards Caitlin, despite the fact that she has done more to elevate the league's profile than almost anyone else. Before Caitlin's rise to fame, the WNBA struggled to attract fans and keep viewership numbers up. But with Caitlin in the spotlight, the league has seen record-breaking attendance and increased media coverage. Yet, instead of celebrating Caitlin's success and her positive impact, many players seem intent on tearing her down. This resentment is largely fueled by jealousy. Caitlin's ability to draw in fans and secure lucrative contracts has made her a target for players who feel they aren't getting the same opportunities. It's a toxic environment, one that has made Caitlin question whether the WNBA is the right place for her. Given everything she's experienced, Caitlin Clark has every reason to consider moving to Europe. There, she would likely be paid more, face less hostility, and continue building her brand without the constant negativity she's currently facing. Europe offers Caitlin a fresh start, a place where she can focus on her game and continue to attract new fans without the drama and toxicity she's experiencing in the WNBA. Her move to Europe could have significant consequences for the WNBA. Without her, the league risks losing its biggest star and its growing fan base. Caitlin has brought more attention to the WNBA than almost anyone else, and her departure could lead to a dramatic drop in viewership. The WNBA is already struggling to compete with other major sports leagues, and losing someone like Caitlin could send it into a downward spiral. If you are not on the channel, then subscribe to the channel and also like the video. Thank you.